Okay, now just try and bend your fingers, Mr. Hendricks.
My hand's broken, I know it is.
No, it can't be. I read your x-rays. Now, straighten the fingers out. Straighten them out.
Oh, don't do that!
Look, just open and close your hand.
You gotta fix it. I ain't never had a broken bone in my body before.
I'll prescribe something for the pain. Your hand is not fractured. It's only a sprain.
It's killing me. You can't tell me it's not broken. Cut that out, Doc. You're hurting me.
Hey, Lucille, I finished the inventory.
Okay.
Want me to head over to the pharmacy now?
No, Ion's gonna pick it up on the way back from lunch.
Speaking of which, you are a woman of your word.
Well, I like to think I am.
There you go.
Has Dr. Ben needed that prescription?
Well, not unless there's something in there that can help calm his patients. Hey, you get it? Calm his patients. You know, patients, both, never mind.
It is truly hard to believe that all of that wit is packed into one itty-bitty brain.
Oh, leave me alone.
Get me another doctor. I want one now.
Oh, thank you. Well, I feel like lunch. How about you two?
That sounds great. Say, Harold, by the way, would you cross-examine all of the DA's witnesses the way you did the medical examiner, Mr. Stillwell?
Oh, yes, Herbert Stillwell. Well, that's one down and the rest of the expert witnesses to go.
Yes, and it's only the second day. My life's flashed before me all morning. Heaven knows what lies ahead.
A lot more work. But right now, all I want to work on is getting over to the Greenbrier. Y'all coming?
Dave?
Oh, sure, might as well. Maybe my last meal.
Not if I can help it.
Anyone looking at this hand could see it's broken, and all this doctor did was wrap it up.
For the last time, Mr. Hendricks, your hand is not broken. It's merely sprained. Please feel free to get a second opinion someplace else.
But I really would save myself the running around if I were you, Mr. Hendricks, because Dr. Martin has done for this hand exactly what any doctor would do.
He's the best. If he says that's what's wrong with it, that's what's wrong with it.
I should have known you'd all take his side. You're all in it for the money, just like he is. And I ain't paying you a dime.
Hey, well, that's your lucky day, because we're a free clinic.
Huh.
Do me a favor, don't send anybody back right now.
That man has to put up with.
I'll talk with him, Lucille.
I may be changing my mind.
About what?
Reapplying for med school. Things like this make me wonder if it's really worth it.
Ben, you usually take loudmouths like Mr. Hendrick in stride. Can you tell me what the problem was this time?
I've had it, Ione. That's all there is to it. I could walk out of here right now and never come back.
Oh, you'll get over it. Weeping lasts but a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Please don't quote me scriptures. Laurie does enough of that already.
All right. Should be quote some to yourself anyway. That's how David was encouraged in the Lord.
What, do you want me to sing some psalms too?
Might not be a bad idea.
Ione, please.
Oh, it's that malpractice suit that's hanging over your head, isn't it?
Do you know what Nancy offered me if I settle out of court? A $100,000 donation for this clinic.
Nancy?
Yeah, $100,000 in return for, well, in exchange for my education, my career, my life in general. And then this Mr. What's-his-name, he comes in here looking for sympathy and some place to vent his problems.
Oh, But Ben, these people need you. You did the right thing.
I know I did the right thing, Ione. I know I did. The tracheotomy I performed on Nancy, the surgery I performed, that is what saved her life.
I know, and she does too.
I just didn't want to get the clinic involved in this mess with Dave on trial for murder, and that's ridiculous. You know what's so ironic about all this? I'm fighting for what's right. I'm fighting to protect this clinic. And I don't even care about these people anymore. Because all they do is take and take and take, and they don't give a thing back.
Well, what do you want them to give?
Gratitude, common courtesy, something, just anything to make this place seem worthwhile. Because the way it stands right now, I could leave this place. I hate coming here anymore.
Sorry, Ben, it's an emergency. Little girl's having a seizure.
Why don't you just go get those glasses or something so you don't think of something else to put on this sandwich? You are worse than Eric, I do believe.
You just keep working. Don't forget the sweet and hot peppers, and I'll see who wants it.
Yeah.
Hello. Is Miriam here?
Well, yeah, she's in the kitchen.
Well, may I come in? I'd like to speak to her.
Well, that depends. If you're here to throw your weight around, just don't bother.
Oh, there won't be any of that, I can assure you. You did say she's in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Daddy. Hi, what are you doing here?
Well, for openers, I might be able to wangle an invitation to lunch. Everything looks pretty tempting.
Is this the happy lunch trio?
Amber, I don't think this is
Do you
the
think
time
it's a good idea to be seen with my mother's murderer?
Amber, listen to me.
Never mind, Dave. Are you through, Miss Phillips?
I hope you get the gas chamber for what you did to her.
Dave, don't let her get too...
No, I'll be all right.
Your daughters. Stacy says you can do no wrong. Amber wants you to get the death penalty.
If you want, I'll talk to her.
Terry, she won't listen to you. I've seen her like this before.
Really? You get this kind of treatment from her on a regular basis?
Well, so it seems. It started after Kevin's death. She's never forgiven me for that.
If she doesn't, it's going to destroy her.
Of course, I never forgave myself either, but she never knew that. I started hitting the bottle twice as much as I had before.
And now she's adding Kate's murder to the list.
Well, we could sure use Amber's cooperation. Might be able to fill in some of the blanks in your memory. Maybe even let us know why you were at Amber's.
Don't count on her, Harold. She's not about to do us any favors.
No matter what she says, she has to have some love for you. You're her father.
Yeah, maybe someday she'll remember that.
Kind of makes me wonder. If I were on trial instead of you, if a child of mine would give me the benefit of the doubt.
Don't worry. I'm not giving up on Amber. I never will.
Good for you.
I guess I could take a lesson or two from you there. But we've got a full afternoon ahead of us, and I, for one, do not want to face it on an empty stomach.
Me neither.
Shall we?
Okay.
You say you want to join us for lunch?
Oh, I'd like to very much, but on second thought, maybe I better not. Mrs. Lucas has me on a rather strict diet.
Would you like a diet soda then?
I'd love one if it isn't too much trouble.
Okay, I'll get...
I'll get it. You two talk.
Sit down.
Well, I just took the day off, and I'm enjoying myself so much I think I may do it again sometime.
Here you go, Chuck.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
Yeah.
It's all right. To answer your question, I feel fine.
Well, you look fine.
Well, I do feel fine. I don't like to repeat, but I do, and that's because of us. I just feel in marvelous spirits. When will Eric get home?
Uh-huh. The bottom line.
Mim, I want him to come over to the house.
But we agreed you would always call first.
Well, I'm here instead of the call. Sometimes telephones have a way of getting a little too impersonal. And you are invited, of course, too. I want both of you to come over.
I have a little leftover corn.
What was that?
I'd like that, Father, but honestly, I think it's just too short of notice.
But Mrs. Lucas doesn't mind setting 2 extra places for dinner at all.
Dinner, too.
Well, Eric's gonna get involved in his room with all the things there, and that's gonna take a couple of hours, and then the first thing you know, it'll be dinner time. Come on, Mem.
I know what I'd say.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Well, I can understand if you have some reservations, but frankly, you have convinced me that you really want what's best for Eric, and that's all I want, and I respect you for that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It took a lot of courage for you to stand up to me and fight for Eric, and I also respect that.
Well, I can't promise that I'll stay myself, but yeah, I'll be glad to drive Eric over after school.
Mem, that makes me very happy.
I mean it, Blair. I never realized how much I hated my father until I walked into that courtroom this morning.
I know you do. He's all you've talked about since we sat down. That is when you aren't casing the place. Amber?
What?
You expecting somebody?
Yeah.
Your father?
They're supposed to be here. I overheard them.
So you grabbed me and ran right over. Just for that, you pick up the check.
Look, I would expect a little more concern from you. My mother was the only stability in my life. I loved her.
I don't doubt that you did. But she was no saint the night she was murdered. Now remember, you spent the night on my sofa because you and she had an argument.
That wasn't very serious.
It was serious enough for you to run for cover. Now, Sergeant Brubaker had me on the edge of my seat when he started in with questions about you, and all I could do was give him a sketch because you had all the details.
Don't worry about it, Blair. You don't have to make up any alibis for me. I told Sergeant Brubaker everything I knew, and he came up with the right killer, all right?
Do you want more of the world according to Blair Simpson?
I think I'd settle for just another one of these.
I don't think he did it.
You're a worse judge of character than I thought. Thank you. Well, they finally arrived. Have I got a surprise for them?
What are you gonna do, intercept his order and poison it?
No, I just want to be a constant reminder of what's in store for him.
I can't decide. Maybe I'll just have a little bit of everything.
Well, I don't think we really have time for that, but the veal is real good here. Why don't you try that?
Oh. No, I think I'll just have a salad. Or maybe I should just have a side order of the cottage cheese.
Yeah, it was pretty good today, the way you handled that little girl. Spotting the type of epilepsy right off like that.
Well, I spent part of my residency working with epileptic patients. Many of them experience grand mal like this girl.
Yeah, suppose you weren't around. Boy, I don't know how we would have figured it out, which one it was.
Lucille had the attack under control, Russ. All I did was just simply took over where she left off.
Yeah, Lucille's a good nurse. One of the best. She's no doctor.
Lucky woman.
Come on, man. Don't get me snubbing my nose at med school again.
Maybe you should consider another career.
Hey, forget Hendricks, if that's what's bothering you. For every one of him, there's got to be at least 10 others that appreciate what you do for them.
Do you really think so?
They keep coming back, don't they?
Yeah, well, our prices here are hard to beat. You know, Russ, when this place was in the planning stages, I was so excited. I anticipated so much. I guess I was really naive.
I suppose that I'm naive for wanting to help out around here then, too, huh?
No, Russ, you're helping out here for your own reasons.
Which is pretty much along the same lines as yours.
No, I really don't think so. You see, when I started this place, I didn't do it because there was some debt I felt that I had to repay to God. I did it because I was so thankful for everything He had blessed me with. And all I really wanted to do was just help others. But lately, that just doesn't seem to be panning out.
Carla, it's true, though. Alicia is getting prettier every day.
Thanks. You know, she's been a little cranky. I've checked her temperature twice, and it's running a little high.
You think she's coming down with something?
I don't know. No, all I know is that she's congested and fretful. And you've just seen her the quietest she's ever been, and I'm a little worried.
Now, Carla, maybe I should go. Then you could stay with her.
Oh, no, she's quieted down now, and, stay a little while, because I've been meaning to spend a little time with you.
Okay, but just a little while. And meanwhile, of course, if you and Jean ever need a babysitter...
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. So how's job hunting going?
It's going well, and I think that Modeling Associates is still the best prospect. Now, I was supposed to meet with Amber Phillips, but we had to postpone that because of her trial of her father.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But meanwhile, I've gone ahead and I've looked at a couple of apartments for Eric and me. I guess you'd have to say it's by faith.
And I hope it's nearby, because I know Jimmy would love to see him more often.
Yeah, well, the same with Eric. And I'm hoping to find something that's centrally located so that I can come by and visit you and the Davidsons, and close enough that I could drop Eric off over at my father's after school, like I'll be doing today.
Mama says you've been seeing quite a bit of your father lately.
Carla, I'm just testing the waters. Now, so far he hasn't done a thing that I could complain about.
You mean not yet?
You've been talking to Babs.
Haven't seen her.
You're sounding just like her.
Maybe that's because we think the same. Now, you know, Miriam, you only got custody of Eric for 6 months. Now, suppose your father contests again.
Now, why should there be reason for that, as long as he's able to visit with him?
Yeah. You think he's going to just settle for just visits from his grandson?
Yeah, but listen, it's not just with Eric. He's even asking me to start coming over more often now, too. Carla, wait a minute now. He's being very nice. He's even being appreciative for my letting him see Eric. And I don't know, but maybe he's starting to become the father that I've always hoped he'd be.
Yeah, maybe. Something's bothering my child, I can tell. Be right back.
Sure.
Would you care for a cocktail with your meal?
No, thank you. No. I guess all you need to do now is get Dr. Phillips to place his order.
Dave, what's wrong?
It's Amber. She's made sure I've seen her. Oh, I'll have the special, please.
Yes, sir.
Did you two follow us in here?
It certainly looks like it. Dave, would you like to leave?
Oh, no. I've learned to put up with hostile stares at the clinic this week. I guess I can learn to put up with one more.
Will you stop that?
Stop what?
You know what you're doing? Amber, you are really acting immature.
Well, you don't have to stay here and watch then.
I'm not going to leave you here alone. And believe me, that is for friendship's sake. I just don't want to see you make a scene, okay?
I can handle myself, Blair.
You think you can, Amber. But all this hatred is not healthy. Now, maybe you should get some help.
And what do you suggest?
Well, how about a good laugh? I don't think I've seen you have a good one since I've been back here in Kingsley, and that's been months.
I'm sorry, but I don't find anything about my mother's death funny.
Look, now you're going through an emotional crisis. Your mother's death, breaking up with Gil.
Look, I don't need this from you, Blair.
I'm sorry. Amber, no, we can't control every aspect of our lives. Now, I had to learn that the hard way. Maybe it's time you start to learn it too.
Let's get out of here. I'll get the check.
I don't like the way she sounds, Miriam.
Why, did you take her temperature again?
No, I'm gonna call the doctor.
No, listen, settle down. Let me call the doctor, and then you can stay with her.
Okay, his number is by the phone.
Okay.
Oh, Lord, keep your arms around my child.
Carla, it's busy.
Look, Miriam, can I get you to stay here until I get back? I'm going to take the baby to Dr. Hathaway's office.
Sure, no problem.
And look, Jimmy will be home from school soon. Tell him everything what's happened.
No problem. You just hurry along. Get her to Dr. Hathaway.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Dave, don't forget. You said you'd come over for dinner later with Peter and me.
I won't forget.
Harold, would you like to join us?
Well, Terry, there's nothing I'd like better, but I'm afraid I'm going to probably be up till past midnight looking at transcripts of this trial.
Hello again. I guess I'll see you in the courtroom. Thought you'd like to know. I'll be the DA's first witness.